You are welcome to Africa Uncovered YouTube channel. My name is DJ once again. Like always, we are here to discuss some more pertinent issues that concern Africa, East Africa, and sometimes worldwide. But today, specifically, we want to discuss something in line with the speech made by President Yoweri Museveni, where he seemed to send, what seemed like threats, but not threats per se, to the government of Donald Trump of the United States of America, where he said that unless it is over his dead body, United States of America and other European countries will not be exporting raw materials from Uganda anymore, not any other day. That's what I thought we would discuss today. So sit down, fasten your seatbelts, because we are going to have quite a long ride. For a long period of time, the president of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Museveni, has been championing the frontlining of Africa as a continent. In his speeches, when you take some time to listen in without bias, you will always hear that he is championing and advocating of fronting Africa before self, fronting Africa before anything else. He is one of the people that have been fighting for the unification of East Africa first and then Africa as a whole through different things, trade, currency, and other things that can identify Africa as one. So he's among those pillars of Africa, among those very people that advocate for the freedom, total independence of Africa as a whole, but also African countries and as individuals, to ensure that they are fronted in everything that we do. So, despite his old age, President Yoweri Museveni is that one president that has been advocating for everything that Africa needs, that has been advocating for ensuring that Africa comes first in everything, regardless of which country that you come from. Museveni has always seen Africa as one, but also wanting the total independence of Africa. We understand that Europe, after colonialism, it has continued with tendencies of neocolonialism across the continent of Africa, where we've seen so many countries that tend to come out to speak about the tendencies of neocolonialism of Europeans, instead get shredded in problems, by receiving so many threats, by receiving so many tariffs on whatever they do, and also trade embargoes and everything. And sometimes these countries really land into problems. For example, a country like Zimbabwe, where we remember in their transition to total independence, there was a problem of land, the land question there. So when they repossessed land from the whites, it became a problem that their economy started shrinking and going into turmoil, because the Europeans said, okay, now that you have, taken away land from us, now die in your movie. And the economy of Zimbabwe has been in turmoil for a long period of time. But that did not stop Robert Mugabe from taking a step to ensure that his people gain total independence and therefore gain land that rightfully belonged to them. So I like President Yoweri Museveni, I like Robert Mugabe. President Yoweri Museveni is taking on the mantle of standing against the Europeans, of standing against giants like the United States of America. So appearing in one of the conferences that he was speaking on, President Yoweri Museveni said, there is no exportation of raw materials that is going to happen from his country, Uganda, unless over his dead body. He was speaking in a conference where he had delegates from the United States of America that had visited his country, and he said enough is enough. We've exported a lot of raw materials to your countries, and you've benefited at our expense, and therefore it is high time that we also added value onto our own products such that we can get more money from it. He gave an example of coffee where where unprocessed coffee is, as in raw materials, really fetches very little money compared to that much money that a recipient country gets in receiving coffee as a raw material. Therefore, he said there is no more going to be exportation of raw materials, be it coffee, be it minerals from the underground, be it agricultural products, being anything else. There is going to be no more exportation of raw materials. And believe me, this is going to help the economy of Uganda to grow by ensuring, one, there will be creation of factories, because if you're not going to export raw materials, either you're just going to let minerals or goods just die in their gardens, or you will have to create factories and industries that are going to help you to consume these goods and process them into products that you would wish to instead export to the European countries or any other countries to be able to fetch more revenue or bigger revenues. So it will help in the creation of factories and industries, but also help in the creation of jobs in the economy. Because when you take, for example, coffee as a raw material, or you take cotton as a raw material to an European country, it means that there is a number of jobs that you've cut off in that chain of production. Unlike when that product, let's say, when that crop, let's say like cotton, is grown in the country, processed in the country, if you were to, let's say, employ 100 workers, you will find after creating a factory and trying to make byproducts from cotton, let's say clothes and all that, textile, you will instead employ more people, hence, absorbing and, fighting unemployment that is rampant in the country. So it is a very good, bold move, taken by the president of Uganda. And he's been saying it, by the way, for a long period of time. He's, first of all, trying to control importation of goods, but also trying to ensure that the country is also able to create byproducts, to be able to create products that it can sell out there to be able to fetch higher revenue. It is also going to help the country's, the country's cash rate. I mean, in terms of the weight of the currency of the economy will be able to increase, because you understand that when you're able to attract enough dollars, then the shilling of Uganda will be able to increase in terms of value. So if the raw materials are processed here and byproducts are made, then the country is able to fetch higher dollars, is able to attract more dollars into the economy, hence boosting the weight of the Uganda shilling. So there is a lot of advantages that Uganda will benefit from the order that has been stated by the president, that look, we are not going to export any raw materials unless it is over my dead body. It sounded more like a threat to these people, to the Europeans, to the United States of America, but I believe in hearts of hearts he was trying to emphasize the point that look, it is high time that we started creating byproducts from our own raw materials than just exporting these raw materials and getting pennies from the European countries. All this is, something that should be uh, captured by almost all the neighboring countries, all African countries. Let's try and control the raw materials that we freely and cheaply give to the Europeans. Let's also try to create products ourselves. Instead of sending cobalt and copper, create something. Let the products from cobalt and copper be made within your country. Let whoever wants to invest in it, if it's an European country or investor, let that person come into the country, invest in, create those products in there, create more jobs for you, for the natives, and then export byproducts so that the country can receive more revenue from that, hence realizing development. So it is a very bold but very important move that, if put in action fully, is going to benefit the economy of Uganda and hence, help the development of infrastructure, the development. It also takes you to the point of the oil that was discovered in Uganda, that is being, that is on at the latter stages of being drilled, because it is estimated by that the first oil in Uganda will be, brought up by 2028. Therefore, if this is put in action, like the way the president negotiated this deal, there is going to be a refinery in Uganda, much as there was some sort of pulling of ropes. So a bit of raw oil, crude oil, will go, but at least there will be a processing plant in Uganda that will also try to create products out of, that crude oil that is being drilled, and therefore it will, work on a number of things, which will include definitely, lessening the expense on gas and so many other things. So it is very, very nice move taken by the president of Uganda, much as it sounded more like a threat. Yes, so I thought we would discuss that and show you how important it is for Africa to wake up and understand that exporting raw materials does not benefit the countries themselves, but rather the person that, exports them. Otherwise, I am TJ. Please go down to our comment section. Tell us if this move is going to champion the development of the economy of Uganda or not, if it is good or bad. Okay? Share, comment, like, and subscribe. Above all, I am TJ. Adios for today.